the numbers are there, I think I'm going to go ahead and scoot that text out just a little bit and maybe reduce down the size slightly, something like that. Whether you own a laser, a CNC, or a 3D printer, I'm going to show you the best way to make a clock face very, very quickly using an open source program called OpenSCAD, and the script that you're going to be pasting into that OpenSCAD program that I put below the description of this video. You're just going to left click with your mouse, drag over the text that I have below this YouTube video, right click and copy it to your clipboard. Go in and type into Google OpenSCAD, install the program, run it, and then come into this editor window, right click and hit paste, and it will put in all the code, followed by hitting an F5 or pressing this button here. When you do, a clock will come up in the center. If it's not showing up, go ahead and understand how your mouse works with this. If you hold down your left mouse button, you can rotate the design inside the display window. If you scroll with your middle mouse button, you can zoom in and out on your model. If you hold down your right mouse button, you can pan. So you can manipulate it that way. The customizer window, if it's not open, make sure you go over here and make sure that the customizer window is unchecked, because you'll definitely need it. You can just have the hide console checked, because you don't really need to have that one open. So this is like the sample right now, but that's not the power of this program. The power of this program is not one model. It's being able to adjust models quickly, easily, and get unique designs for your laser, CNC, or 3D printer. So let me show you how it works. So I down clicked on the parameter, and these are all the parameters that you can adjust with sliders or typing in values. And then when we get all done, we can render a brand new model that will be an SVG that can go into whatever software that we want to machine it. So just to demonstrate, let's just use the parameters that we have right now, and let me show you some capabilities. For example, say we don't like this text size. We can change the text size on our clock very quickly. We can make it larger, we can make it smaller. Maybe you don't like where it's oriented. We can increase the inset, how far in it goes. And we can do it by the drag, or we can also type in a manual value. That's all millimeters. And you can just very quickly get a very different looking model. Maybe something like that. Maybe you don't want the minute marks outside the numbers. Maybe you want them on the inside of the numbers. You can change the inset by dragging. Oops, going to the right will inset it more. Something like that. Okay, once the numbers are there, I think I'm going to go ahead and scoot that text out just a little bit and maybe reduce down the size slightly, something like that. And you get an idea. You can, if you actually want to have the hour hands, say you're printing a design, or you're using a Cricut cutter or something, and you want the hands to be there, you can adjust the hours of the clock. So if I click on here, it will change the hours. Now, if it doesn't change when you click on something, always go back and hit F5, and you can see that it adjusted the time to 7. And it's not just 7, but it's 7 plus 10/60ths. So it does shift it to the proper location like it should for that hour hand, based upon whatever digital time that you put in the clock. So that's kind of nice. Then let's put a center hole, because typically you're going to be using a mechanism like this, and usually they have a 1/4-inch shaft. I'm going to make it slightly oversized. So let's go ahead and make the shaft for this particular model for the center hole of 6 point, instead of 3.5 millimeters, which is a 1/4 inch, let's make it 6.40. Hit enter. And if it doesn't show, hit the F5 just to render it. So there's our 1/4 inch hole. Now, usually you're going to want to not have those hour hands and minute hands when you're actually making a physical clock. So all you have to do to get rid of them is just drag over, and you can turn the length to 0, which essentially removes it from the model. This is looking pretty good. I think we need to increase the inset of the minutes marks just a little bit. So let's just scoot those in just slightly more. And this is where it's nice. This is where it's nice to be able to physically type in a number, because you want to dial it in. So let's try 15. Those are millimeters, by the way. Yeah, we need a little bit more. Let's try 18. F5. All right, I can live with that. Now, number 11 and 12, just because mathematically they're centered in the middle based upon the angle here, but I feel like we could maybe adjust this one in a little bit. We can adjust the position. So I have a spot to manually slightly increase or decrease the position. So I'm going to shift it ever so slightly. It's a little bit too much. And number 11, the same thing. You can manually adjust that. And I'm just slightly changing. I kept the angle the same, but I think you can get a little better appearance. The other numbers I'm very, very happy with, but sometimes 10 and 11, because the way the mathematics works, might require a little bit of inset. So I hope that gives you a little bit of idea. Now let's go ahead and get this in a form and a fashion that you can use in your laser printer or 3D printer or CNC. All you have to do that is hit this F6. That will put it in SVG format. At this point, we could go ahead and save it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. File, and we're going to actually get that SVG by not saving, because that would just do the program. But we're going to go File, Export, SVG, and I'll just call this Clock Demo 1 for the SVG, something like that. Now, if you wanted to continue editing this, you do have to go hit F5 again to put it back in preview, and you can adjust all these. If you ever mess up a parameter and want to get back to the original, you can hit reset over here. Another thing I forgot to show you, I'll just show you now, is the font. You can change the font name, and that's probably the best part of this. Is, let's say you wanted, it's got to be a font that's actually on your computer, and you have to spell it right. I think I have Arial, so let me hit Arial and see what happens. So I hit type it in and hit F5, and you see it changed all the numbers for me. If I did, I'm sure I have New Times Roman. You know, these are boring fonts, but you're going to pick a good font that's on your computer. Hit F5, and you can see that it changed all the numbers for me. So you can, have a really, really, I think there's, let me see if this is, I think there's one called Sim Sun. Let's see if that is the font that I had. Yeah, that's kind of a cool looking font, I think. If you mistype the font, it will go to a default font. So just something to keep in mind. And of course, every time you adjust these things, you always, before you get to the SVG, you have to hit the F6, or it will do the last one that was done, and then file and re-export it. Make sure also you save the program, which is essentially all this text that you put in as a script, so that you don't have to go through the process of copying it off the YouTube video again and again. Let's go ahead and exit out of here, and I'm going to go ahead and go into Prusa Slicer. For those that want to just 3D print the clock face that they're making, you go into Prusa Slicer. You're going to go into File, Import. Even though it doesn't show SVG, that is one of the options after the ... here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to click Clock Demo, and there's our clock. The default thickness, even though SVGs are flat, is 5 millimeters when it imports an SVG. That's too thick for us. So what you want to do to change the thickness is we would come over here to Scale, and I unclick the lock, so it's just going to scale the Z, and I'm going to do 60%. And that brought me down to 3 mils, which is typically what most common shafts if clocks are, something like that. And you suddenly have your model ready to be 3D printed. And then of course you could just slice it. Won't take too long here. And it looks like it takes about 3 hours to print, so it's a pretty hefty print, but you could definitely use very limited infill on this if you wanted to, and you could put a background behind it and really make it contrast with those numbers if you wanted. There's lots of things you could do. I think you get the idea, but let's go ahead now and show you how you would use this for 3D printing. So similar sort of scenario. So I'm in VCarve Pro. Go ahead and set up your job dimensions, whatever size canvas you have for your CNC, the bed, and go to File, Import Vectors. Here's my clock demo. You notice it came in on the bottom corner. Hit G to group, click on it, grab it, put it right in the center of your canvas so it's perfectly centered. And now we can go through the process of setting up tool paths to machine this. I would probably do the numbers first. If you hit the model, hit U to ungroup, then you get individual vectors. I'm just going to select everything for the moment. And then I'm going to click on this and see if I can undo this way. Yep, I can do it with. I'm just holding down my shift button. I think we've got all the numbers there. Go over to tool paths. We're going to go VCarve, depth 2 millimeters, 6-degree V-bit. Sounds great. Calculate, reset preview visible tool paths, and you have your numbers for your clock. Then you're going to go back over and let's go ahead and get all of those minute positions. So make sure we get them all. And I don't want the center one. Now for this, we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to do profile tool path. Let's do a V-bit again. Let's do the pass depth very shallow. I don't know, 0.5 millimeters, something like that. And we're going to do right on the lines. Calculate. Reset preview. Get both of them. Preview visible toolpaths. And there's all our minute marks. Now we need to go get our center hole cut. So go back to your model. Click on that center hole. We're going to do a pocket tool path. And we want a 1/4 inch end mill. The depth is going to be our board thickness, which is Z equals in the cut depth. And calculate. Select all the models, preview visible tool paths, and there's our hole for the shaft of our clock. And now all we have to do is cut out the outside. So go tool paths. And we're going to do another profile. We can use the 1/4 inch, that's fine. Cut depth is Z equals. And we want to go outside to the right because we want the full diameter of the outside clock face. Now, technically, we really should be adding tabs, but for the purpose of this video only, I'm not going to put tabs, but you'd want to put a tabs or this is going to fly off. Calculate. Let me reset preview visible toolpaths. Oops. Did something a little bit wacky. I think I got the wrong bit. Oh, I still had it as a V-bit. I wanted end mill. Let's recalculate that. Close. there's a clock face. You could put that, and it should be the right diameter for exactly put it on the shaft of your clock. Hope you like that. It's super nice. Remember, you can change all those fonts, change their size, change where the minute tick marks are. You can even remove the minute tick marks if you like. And you can use it. And of course, if you have a laser, you could just engrave this super easy.